Hello everyone, welcome to this lecture in which we are going to learn about the plastic limit of soil. We have already completed about liquid limit. Now let us go back to the consistency graph that we plotted in the beginning of this section, where we actually plotted a graph between volume of a soil and the water content, and here we actually marked some limits as the shrinkage limit, plastic limit, and we also plotted the liquid limit. Here we have also plotted the different states of the soil as the solid, semi-solid, plastic and liquid state. Now in this graph we already noticed that this is your plastic limit and this is the water content at which the soil is changing from semi-solid to plastic state. So let me give you the first definition here, that plastic limit is the water content at which soil changes its state from semi-solid to plastic state. Or we can also see that the soil becomes plastic at this water content. Now also understand that what is meant by plastic. See, we have seen many articles that are made up of plastic. Maybe a chair, maybe a frame also, maybe the body of the camera, maybe the body of my laptop, or many articles are made up of plastic. And what is the reason? That this plastic can be actually molded into different shapes. So that is why that material from which these different articles are made up, that material is known as plastic. So if I am calling any material as plastic, that means it can be easily molded into different shapes. So if I am calling soil to be in plastic state, that means that soil can also be easily molded into different shapes without any cracks. Now let us understand that when a material can be molded but it will not break, when there is high or strong bonding between two molecules. Let us assume that you and your friend are walking on a path and there is dark in the surrounding, and suddenly what happens, that a pit hole comes in the path of your friend and he suddenly falls down. As you are not holding hands, you and your friend who were in the same level earlier on the path, now your friend has fallen down and there is a relative movement between you two, and also you two are now separated. But let us assume that if you two are holding hands, then what will happen? Obviously, as you two were holding hands, your friend and you will move slightly with respect to each other, but the bond between you two will not break because you are actually holding your hands together. In the same way, if two molecules are not bonded, then with the application of force, those two molecules or particles can be easily separated. But if those molecules are bonded, then even with the application of force on one molecule, that molecule may get deformed or it may move, but the bonding between the two molecules will not break, and hence the whole material or whole body will not break. That means we can here say that the molding without breaking is possible only if there is some force of attraction between two molecules. So here I can write down that if a soil is plastic, that means that plastic soil can be molded easily, can be molded in different shapes without any break, in different shapes without breaking of bonds, without breaking of bonds. And yes, that is actually the principle on the basis of which we actually determine the plastic limit of soil also. So how we actually perform the test for the plastic limit? We simply take the same 425 micron passing soil and we add some known amount of water in the soil solids. We form a paste and we try to actually roll that particular soil into a thread. If 3 mm diameter thread can be formed easily without any breaking, then we call that soil have achieved its plastic state. So that is the standard definition for the plastic state. So what we do here, that we roll the soil paste into thread of soil, by placing the soil on a glass. And if 3 mm diameter thread of soil can be formed without any cracks, then soil is said to be in plastic state. And if I am defining the plastic limit, then what I can say, that the minimum water content, let me write down that water content as WC only, minimum water content at which 3 mm diameter thread of soil can be formed without any cracks, then such water content is known as plastic limit. So I hope now you understand that what is the test for the plastic limit, that you simply form a thread of a soil of 3 mm diameter, and if the thread is easily formed without any cracks, then we call that minimum water content is your plastic limit. Fine. So obviously this plasticity is because of bonding between the molecules, as now I have described. So we can here say that plasticity of a soil is because of cohesion in soil. That force of attraction is nothing but that is the cohesion, and if there is no cohesion, then such particular soil will not show any plastic behavior. That is why if you see the gravels, then such particular soil which do not have any cohesion will be called as non-plastic soil, that is NP. So this gravel and even sand is also non-plastic soil. But yes, if more is the cohesion, then more plastic limit will be there. So if I am talking about the silt, then its plastic limit is around 20 to 25. Whereas if I am talking about alluvial clay, then its plastic limit is nothing but that is around 25 to 50. Whereas if I am talking about black cotton soil, then its plastic limit is around 200 to 250. So these are the values of the plastic limit of the soil. That is general value. Okay, that is the general value. And yes, this is the plastic limit. But similarly, as we have already studied about the liquid limit, let me give you the values of liquid limit also for these particular soil. So what are the values of liquid limit? Obviously, I am just giving you the approximate values so that you get a rough idea that what is the liquid limit of a particular soil. So if I am talking about silt, see, actually liquid limit is not defined for the gravel and sand because those are bigger than 425 micron. So if I am talking about the liquid limit, then the value of liquid limit for the silt is around 30 to 40. Whereas for the alluvial clay, this value is around 40 to 150, and for the black cotton soil, this value is about 400 to 500. Fine. Whereas another term we actually define here, then that is nothing but that is plasticity index, that I am going to define here only in this lecture. But this plasticity index is nothing but that is the difference of liquid limit and plastic limit. So if I give you the values of plasticity index, then again for these two the value of plasticity index will be equals to be 0, but for silt its value will be between 10 to 15. Just take the difference, and for this it will be 15 to 100, and for the black cotton soil it will be between 200 to 200, or maybe it can be written as 100 to 250. So these are the general values of the liquid limit, plastic limit, and the plasticity index. Now of course, as we have defined about the plasticity index, let me define that again properly. So the next term that we are going to define here is nothing but that is the plasticity index. Why it is defined? We have already studied the formula of this. This is actually indicated by IP. What is this? It is nothing but that is a difference between liquid limit and plastic limit for any particular soil. But what is the range of water content? It is the range of water content in which soil remains in plastic state. In which soil remains in plastic state. See, if you remember the graph, obviously you might be remembering that this is the graph. Here it is the shrinkage limit, here it is plastic limit, and this is your liquid limit. If I am taking the difference of these two, that means actually I am calculating this width, yes or no? And this is nothing but this is the plastic zone for the soil. So this is the range that we are actually calculating while we are calculating the IP value. And as I have already defined it mathematically as equals to be the difference of liquid limit and plastic limit. So this is actually indicating you the range in which the soil will remain plastic. And if this range is more, that means the force that is actually imparting the soil plasticity is more, and that force is nothing but that is the cohesion. So here I can again write down that this IP is directly proportional to the cohesion. So if a particular soil have more IP, that means I can simply say that it will have more cohesion, and if a IP is more, I can say that a particular soil is more plastic also. So if I am asked to compare two different soil, that which soil is more plastic, just to check whose value of IP is more. So that is all for the value of IP. But yes, according to the value of IP, we also define the name of soil. For example, if IP is 0, we call that soil as non-plastic. But if the value of IP is less than 7, between 0 and 7, then such particular soil is said to be of low plasticity. Whereas if the value of IP is between 7 and 17, then that is termed as medium plastic soil. Whereas if the value of IP is more than 17, then that is said to be of high plasticity. So that is just to give you an idea that how the value of IP is changing the property of soil. But yes, if you are mixing two different soil having different IP, then the IP of the mix can be easily calculated using the weighted average. Like, for example, if you have taken first soil whose IP is IP1 and it is added in a proportion of X1, and another soil is of IP equals to be IP2 and its proportion is X2, then the IP of the mix can be easily calculated using this formula. And this is nothing but this is the weighted average of the IP values. So this is another formula that can be used in some of the cases, but yes, you should remember that formula also. And what is plasticity index? I hope now you understand it. So let's end this lecture here only. We will meet again in our next lecture with our next term, that is shrinkage limit. So till then, keep learning, keep growing.